And we welcome you to the West Quad Gymnasium at Brooklyn College for Brooklyn College Bulldogs basketball on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. And today, it's the Brooklyn College Women's Bulldogs against the reigning and defending and undefeated national champions of the NCAA, the 7-0 NYU Violets, here from the West Quad Gymnasium. Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Perriente, alongside my broadcast partner, Pat Brown. And Pat, for the Women's Bulldogs, they came off a very impressive 66-37 victory over John Jay 5 nights ago. Alina Estrella came back in the lineup, and it looked like the Bulldogs were a totally different offense.
Totally different offense because their floor leader, their floor general, is back on the scene. She has to get her legs back under her. You know, she's been out for about 3 or 4 games, but she ran the offense. She scored about 11 points, had 5 rebounds, so she's going to get back into the flow of things. And her teammates were waiting for her to get back on the floor because she slows everything down and they can run their offense the way they want to run it.
Bulldogs played such a very even distribution of points. You had Anna Kitch with 12 points, 11 for Estrella, 9 for Dolgan, 8 for Mia Daniel, who, by the way, was named once again Rookie of the Week
for the third straight time.
Yes. So she's really coming into her own here. And you called her another 2.0 version, a tougher version of Dior Dorsey a little bit.
Not a tougher version, but a stronger version.
There we go.
More body type, more power going into the paint.
All right. On the other side of the aisle, the Bulldogs are facing the NYU Violets, coached by Meg Barber. And this Violet team, if you have not been watching them,
you should
the run this team has been on, going all the way back. The last time NYU was defeated was March 11th, 2023 in the Elite Eight against the Transylvania Pioneers. They have not been beaten since. NYU came out with a flurry last season. They went on a 31-0 run. They won the national championship, which included beating Transylvania to get to that final.
And Smith.
And they beat Smith in the final. And just the run that this Violet team has been on, and a team that's scoring this year 93 points per game.
With ease.
It's been relative ease. They don't, once they put their foot on the gas, they don't let go of it.
No.
Once they have a good quarter, it's impossible for teams to rally. That's what NYU has been able to do all season.
And also, they take high-quality shots. They're shooting over 50% from the field. They're not that good for a three-point shooting team, but that just tells you how effective they are in the paint.
Natalie Bruns and Belle Palecchia are the 2 top scorers on this team. 17.7 points per game for Bruns to go along with 16.5 for Palecchia.
And both of them shooting over 60% from the field. That's unheard of.
And when you, for them to have beaten Tufts the way they did, that was their last game played against the Tufts Jumbos
By 40.
Yeah, and Tufts is a defensive-minded team. We've known Tufts in their days in the NESCAC conference. They're a team that's going to play a defensive game with you. You're going to have to outgrind them.
Yep.
For NYU to put up 97 and beat them 97-50 is nothing short of unheard of.
No, it's not. And it just shows you how Coach Barber, we talked to the assistant coach before the game, and she said, listen, we come out and we want to compete. It's not just competing in the games. We compete in practice. We compete in the classroom. We compete every time we step on the floor. And that's the kind of team that Coach Campbell wants to build here at Brooklyn College. They've been dominant in CUNYAC. NYU's been dominant in their division. So a battle of 2 dominating teams, but only one team's ranked number 1 in the country.
Right. We talked with assistant coach Annie Barrett before this game began. And one of the things we asked her about was how did this team handle all the attention for this run they've been on? Because, they were on Eyewitness News. They were on all news media, ESPN,
Brooklyn
you
12,
name it.
All of that.
And how they were able to still focus on what's in front of them. Talked heavily about maturity of this team and how they've been able to just keep that run going, not letting outside pressure affect them, just focus on the task at hand. And that's what this Violet team has done.
You know what a lot of people don't understand about college athletics? It's student athlete. So NYU is a prestigious school. You got to be on your P's and Q's. It's very hard to get in there. So your academics have to be up to par. And that just translates into the dedication and the determination that you need to be this successful on the court or in any sport in general.
Many greats have gone on to be students at NYU. One of them, of course, was and is Kenny Albert.
Yep.
And he was a longtime grad of NYU, and his beginnings in the broadcast world came through from his days as a member with NYU. He played on he was on the hockey team for a little bit as well. So he definitely
Do they still have a hockey team?
I'm not sure they still do. No. but they had one, but that was back then. But still, NYU is a very revered program, and for the Bulldogs, they're going to have to play. Well, the best thing you do is just they have to play competitive against NYU, and it's not going to be easy. But they're going to have to show that they can hang with this Violet team, and try not to let them have too big of a quarter.
You know, my opinion going into the game, you can't think about who they are ranked. You have to think about the 5 that are on the court, and you have to bring your A game to match their A game. You have to bring your intensity to match their intensity, and do the best that you can. And I think that's what Coach Campbell was saying to us before the game. We're going to play our best, and we want to see where we stack up against the best. Well,
we're going to definitely see how the women match up. The last time the women played NYU was roughly right around this time last year on December 12th.
Yep.
And we were there, both you and me, Pat, at the Paulson Center, and NYU put up 91 points in that game. But the Bulldogs in that game, they hung with the Violets for about the first quarter. The first quarter and a half or so, they hung with the Violets. Yep. So the Bulldogs definitely showed they can hang with opponents. Can they do it for a whole game against this team? That we're going to find out. But right now, we're going to turn things over to Alan Zarro. Our PA announcer will have the lineups and the opening tip from the West Quad Gymnasium.
For tonight's NCAA Division III women's basketball matchup between the #1 New York University Violets and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats and join our student athletes, coaches, and officials as we honor America and those who serve and protect us with the playing of our national anthem.
And a very beautiful rendition of the national anthem here at the West Quad Gymnasium. Brooklyn College women's Bulldogs taking on the NYU Violets. And let's go through the starting lineups. We'll begin with the visiting Violets. You have Belle Palecchia, the 5'8 senior guard out of Rutgers Preparatory High School from Mendham, New Jersey. She'll wear number 4 and play the 3. Caroline Pepper, the 6' junior guard forward out of Oliver Ames High School from Southeastern Massachusetts. She'll wear number 11. Jamie Behar, the 6'1 grad forward out of Long Island Lutheran High School from Oceanside, New York. She'll wear 15. Number 20, Brooke Batchelor, the 5'10 guard sophomore out of Oakton, Virginia from St. Paul Catholic High School. She'll wear number 20. And Natalie Bruns, the 6'1 grad forward out of Kirkwood High School from St. Louis, Missouri. She'll wear number 32 and play the 5. Head coach is Meg Barber. Assistant coach Nettie Associate Coach Nettie Respondick, Assistant Coach Annie Barrett, Sarah Eckerson, Head of Operations. And for the Brooklyn College Women's Bulldogs, it'll be number 10, Dior Dorsey, the 5'7 sophomore guard out of Newdorp High School from Staten Island, New York. She'll wear number 10. Mary Dolgan, the 5'9 senior forward out of Midwood High School. She'll wear number 15. Aaliyah Rafat, the 5'11 senior out of Live Oaks High School from San Martin, California. She'll wear number 21 and play the 3. Anna Kitch, the 5'9 junior out of Putnam Science Academy High School. She'll wear number 23 and play the guard. Alina Estrella, 5'6 grad out of James Madison High School. She'll wear number 24 and play the 3. Brooklyn College is coached by Megan Campbell, her second season. Amalia Sedaris, Rocco Soletto, Brittany Bowen, Nicole Francomano, and Stanley Fevrin are the assistant coaches for this one.
Brooklyn College comes in at 4-3, 1-0 in the conference. And NYU, of course, we already said, undefeated, 7-0 on the season.
Unbeaten since March 11th, 2023. So they have been on a 37-game winning streak since March 11th of 23.
38.
38. Yep.
Yeah.
So 38 straight wins for NYU, and that's an incredible run that this team has been on. And can the Bulldogs maintain their composure against this team? They're going to have to. And definitely, I could say this because we were at NYU last year. Meg Barber doesn't hesitate to rotate full five out if she has to. She will do it.
And when you're blowing teams out the way they have, you get your bench a lot of minutes, and you can look. A lot of players have over 50 minutes that's been playing.
Keeping themselves fresh, absolutely. Howard Midkiff, Kristen Kenny, and Paulo Trujillo are going to be the officials for today's game. Bulldogs are going to be wearing their white uniforms with maroon trim. The NYU Violets are wearing their violet uniforms with white trim. How appropriate.
Of course.
And here we go. It's going to be Mary Dolgan matching up against Natalie it's going to be Rafat against Bruns. And here we go with the tip, and it's taken by the Violets. And let's see how the Bulldogs, Pat, are going to attack this NYU team. They're quickly, Dorsey is getting up on Palekia, which is a good thing to see.
Well, Brooklyn coming out in there man-to-man.
And a quick run to the net and put home easily. That was put home by Caroline Pepper. So just like that, NYU broke the Bulldogs' defense, and they take a 2-0 lead right off the gate.
This is what Brooklyn's going to have to defend against, which is the trap.
And right there, just how quickly NYU boxed that out. Palekia on the drive and puts it up and in. So in 33 seconds, NYU has scored 4 points in a span of 30 seconds. And there's the trap. So already NYU implementing that full court pressure right off the bat. But the Bulldogs did a good job breaking that as Dorsey shot a bit too strong, an air ball, and the Violets come right back out with it. And it's Batchelor bringing it in.
That was good ball movement.
And there's a quick shot and a good defensive stop on Bruns. We got a travel call against Kitch.
Yeah.
Just walked with the feet a little too much, was trying to get that pass around. And that's a bit of a tough break. The Bulldogs were able to grab that rebound, but one too many shuffles of the feet.
Yeah, she was unbalanced when she got the rebound and then stumbled, and that was the travel.
And a wide open three by Caroline Pepper. And the Violets already up 7-0. And one thing we've seen with this Violet team, that ball is deflected into the bench out of bounds.
See, right there, Jonathan, that's a bad cross-court pass because you got to get it way over the head of the defender in between you and your playmate. But you want to take short passes, not long passes.
And that's the thing with NYU. They are not going to give you space to breathe. That's what makes them so tough. For every opponent that's had to play the Violets, you have to be able to break their defense on a consistent basis.
And they have length.
That's an even bigger challenge. Shot by Dorsey was off the rim, and quickly one and dones for the Bulldogs as the Violets are coming right back out the other way. And you see quickly how quick they move the ball around. Everybody just knows where they are.
Open three.
And it's good. Knocked down again. Put home by Jamie Behar. And it's already a 10-0 lead for the Violets.
And not even 2 minutes in.
And another bad pass by Estrella. And quickly, Bruns lays it up and puts it home.
Timeout's going to be called.
And that's what we had feared NYU was going to come out with early. And, you know, when do you ever not see NYU get off to quick starts like this, Pat?
And look, Coach is talking to a 15-man and saying, hey, listen, yeah, you knocked down the three, but I don't like your defense position. She was right in her face saying, hey, I want you to get better positioning. That's how much perfectionist the coach is.
Well, when NYU is coming out with the defensive alignment that they have, and to already see 12 points on the board in 2 minutes.
And quickly, and how efficiently they are. And they've knocked down 2 threes, which they're not very proficient on 3-point shooting, but tonight they're 2 of 3.
Well, we talked about how as a team the Violets shoot about 50% from the field, and this is a tall order for pretty much any team that has to oppose this team, and for the Bulldogs it's going to be no exception.
And defensively, NYU has length. They have long arms to get into the passing lanes, and they double very well.
And they're not hesitating to continue to go full court pressure. They do not hesitate to do this. And Estrella's going to have to fight through that screen, and she does. But there, look how quickly. The ball came and out quickly. NYU just swarming all over the field. And the shot was a little too strong, a little under the rim for Dorsey.
Dorsey's 0 for 3.
Well, NYU, you have to really take quick shots because they're not going to give you space in the paint. And quickly the ball moving, and here's another long three. And that one was a little too strong off the rim, off the glass from Batchelor. So the Bulldogs will take possession with 7:36 to play in the first quarter.
Another open three there. Brooklyn College getting out-rotated by the quick ball movement of the Violets.
Yeah, I was watching, while we were talking in the pregame, I was watching how NYU was practicing. And they're not only, they just don't seem, no shots they seem to have missed. There's a big three, and that puts the Bulldogs quickly on the board. Mary Dolgan knocking down a big three to stop the 12-0 run of the Violets. Bulldogs down 9. Could that be something that maybe that gets the Bulldogs going here? Driving it in, a good kick out, and here's a long three for Behar, and puts it in. So just like that, Behar answers the Bulldogs' three. The Violets are 3 for 3, and they're up 12.
And on that last offensive position for Brooklyn, they broke the press, got it into the paint, they kicked it back out, and Mary Dolgan knocks down a three, and there you go, Alina Estrella for a 2.
All right, Bulldogs down 10, but again, wide open, Bruns, and lays it up. No Bulldog picked up Bruns, and we get a whistle. And Coach Campbell was lighting into Dolgan there, just did not, the Bulldogs, when you score the other way, you have to quickly transition back going the other way. Delay of game warning's been called against Brooklyn.
Yep.
As clearly Coach Campbell was frustrated with Mary Dolgan on that last play.
Coach Campbell's definitely not happy with the energy that they come out with. 5 straight turnovers, leading to 12 points.
Kitch on the drive is blocked from behind by Bruns. And here come the Violets right back. Look how quick they're moving down the field already. And here's a long three and a score once again. That is Caroline Pepper, and puts that home.
Maybe I shouldn't have said they don't shoot well from 3 before the game.
The entire NYU team is muy caliente.
Yeah, they're 4 for 6 right now.
And the Bulldogs right now down 15. Not even 4 minutes in. And NYU's already got 20 points. Estrella kicks it out to Kitch. Bulldogs just have to try to find something. Kitch with a long three. A little too strong, and that's taken right back by Batchelor. And the Violets just continuing to dissect the Bulldogs. Another three from Pepper. And the Violets go up 23-5.
John, I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to.
I was watching this team in practice, and they were just not missing shots. If they're locked in like this, they're almost impossible to beat. Shot off the side of the rim by Estrella. And right now the Bulldogs just have to get back faster. They're not getting. NYU just keeps breaking down their defense so quickly. And this is exactly what we feared. Palekia lines up a shot, and that was a rare miss by the Violets. But right back, the Violets came with a double team, and luckily Kitch was able to get it up. Estrella driving it in, but taken right back. And here's a quick feed inside and in, put home by Palekia. And the Violets up 20. And already, this is what Coach Barber likes to do, a full 5 swap. So in 6 minutes, the Violets are up 25-5. Bulldogs are ready to do a 3-player sub of their own.
This is what NYU does to you. They demoralize you.
Well, it's an intimidating team to play against. I mean, can you blame them?
No.
It's a very intimidating matchup for any opponent. And it's not just Brooklyn they've done this to. They've done this to every opponent they've played. Driving inside. Beautiful reverse layup by Brooke Batchelor. And the Violets up by 22 in just 5.5 minutes.
Oof. That's all you can say. Just oof. This is how you become the #1 team in the country, by being offensively proficient and very aggressive defensively. 5 turnovers so far for Brooklyn College, and Brooklyn College offensively not doing a good job of using the shot clock. They're just getting in the paint and just chucking up shots.
It's kind of hard to, because NYU is just not giving them a lot of time. The Violets are just not allowing the Bulldogs to really get into a tempo, into a rhythm. You see it every time the Bulldogs have brought the ball up. It's been full court pressure. Maybe have a double or triple team on one Bulldog, and then the Bulldogs have to scramble to get out of that defense. You know what other team we've seen that did that? The Christopher Newport Captains.
So what you do, if you're getting double teamed, that means one of your teammates are open. You have to have your head up, know when the double team is coming, and get the ball, crisp pass, not a lollipop pass, crisp pass to your open teammate, and then they could put pressure on the defense, try and get a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2.
The one big pressure that we talked about, Pat, we talked about this before we came on the air. and also just now in the opening minutes. This NYU team has a lot of length. It's very hard to get easy passes through on this team.
So let's see if Brooklyn can do something against these other five that
Violets
come in.
So Eden Williamson is in the game along with Zara Alexander, along with Mary Kate Fahey, along with Maria Alvarado, and last but not least, Caitlin Kenny. Here's a jump shot off the side rim, no good from Estrella. Bulldogs subbed out 3 of their players, as we said. So into the game for the Bulldogs now is Brianna Gutierrez, along with Omia Daniel. Kicking it out. Here's a long 3 for Fahey, and a score. Mary Kate Fahey knocking down a 3. So the Violets picking up right where they left off, and they go up 30-5. And that ball went off the foot. It's a kick ball. It went off the foot of Zara Alexander with 3:55 to go in the first.
Again, that last offensive possession, Alina gets into the paint, breaks it down, but then not a good shot.
And a turnover right back to Eden Williamson. And Fahey with another 3 off the rim, a little too strong. But right back to save that was Alvarado, but turned it over to the Bulldogs. Here comes Estrella trying to break the defense of Alexander. And again, you're seeing the Bulldogs just standing stationary. Nobody's getting open, and it's forcing one player to have to maneuver through a 3-man defense. Driving it inside, and shot was blocked on the way by Kitch. Deflects out of bounds, last touched by Brooklyn. It's NYU ball, 3:26 to go in the first.
Brooklyn are setting screens, but Violets are doing a great job fighting through the screen and not allowing Brooklyn to get into the paint. Now, Alina Estrella is doing a good job of getting into the paint. When the defense collapses, she doesn't kick it back out and restart the offense.
Estrella will sit. In comes Audrey Waldvogel, so the Bulldogs continuing to rotate out their offense. And now here's Fahey, and she traveled. First time NYU's been called for a walk. You know what's been more amazing so far? We're at 3:14 left to go. There's been no fouls called in this game so far.
No fouls. And I'll tell you one other thing. Brooklyn is ice cold from the field. They are 2 for 12 coming out.
With the way NYU's shooting, it's kind of hard to fathom. You have to be just as perfect as NYU is to stay in the game with them. And the Bulldogs are struggling because they have just not been able to get a shot open, and some turnovers have not helped either. Here comes Amia Daniel, bumped up there by Alvarado. Driving it inside, kicking it out to the far left corner is Gutierrez. Gutierrez tries to make a move inside. Kicks it out and threw it into Alvarado's hand, out of bounds. But again, the Bulldogs just had nowhere to go with that pass.
4 seconds on the shot clock.
So the Bulldogs have to get a very quick, not quite a quick catch and shoot, but they have to get a quick pass inside and find a good look. Daniel throws it up. Shot is a little too strong, and it's taken back by Alvarado. And now Fahey. And the Bulldogs just have to get back. And Alexander drives it in.
Wow.
Was falling down and still put that in. And the Violets go up 32-5. And here comes the full court. But Amia Daniel breaks right through it. Daniel almost lost it. Somehow kept the dribble there, but if you're the Bulldogs. But you see how quickly, Pat, the Violets just swarm the top of the key. They're just not giving the Bulldogs any space.
Well, when you only give up 45 points, that's what happens. Another air ball.
But the Bulldogs were able to get it back. Waldvogel tried to throw it up, but it was just off the rim. That was Gutierrez, trying to get that shot. And now Williamson. And driving it upside. Here comes... Williamson lost it out of bounds. Another very rare turnover by the Violets.
Mary Jojen comes in for Aliyah Rafat for Brooklyn.
Well, Coach Campbell wanted to definitely go with some size to start the game off. She went with height, but the Violets right now have just done a very good job breaking that down. And you can see, Pat, even their second unit is just as lethal as their first unit.
Right. That's what you want.
Gutierrez just again gets the pass out to Kitch. But then right back, as soon as the Bulldogs try to make a move, another Violet is already waiting for them on the other end. Here's another shot off the side rim. Bulldogs trying to fight. Gutierrez picks it up. And kept alive by Waldvogel. Right now, again, Bulldogs just can't seem to line a shot up. Dolgan will fire 3. And too strong. And here comes Kenny with it now. Minute 15 to go in the first quarter. It's 32-5 Violets. Williamson, that was Kenny. Alvarado down low and put in by Caitlin Kenny.
Somebody's hurt.
Oh, it was an injured Bulldog that looked like Kitch. Kitch got back up. She's all right. The basket.
Did count.
They did count the basket, yes.
Yes.
34-5 Violets. Back in comes Estrella. Waldvogel will sit down, and a minute 3 to go, and the Bulldogs right now have just been overwhelmed. And you never see the Bulldogs outplayed like this in a quarter. Never.
Nope.
Not like this.
And now coming in is Danae McMullen for Brooklyn. Comes in for Waldvogel.
And this is the typical style of the NYU Violets. They just, they just kind of break your spirit, right? But like as soon as they start knocking down a flurry of shots, it just breaks your spirit as soon as they get on a run.
It's a wave and a wave and a wave.
Shot by Estrella, just a little too strong. And back come the Violets the other way. And Fahey. And there's no give and there's no let up in the Violets. They're not going to be letting up. Here's a long three, an air ball, and Daniel corrals the rebound. 36 seconds to go here in the first.
Foul.
Foul's called.
First foul.
Wow. So it took till 31 seconds for a foul to be called in the first quarter. It's going to be on NYU.
Caitlin Kenny, number 30. So 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. 31 seconds left on the game clock.
Bulldogs want to try to finish out the quarter with just on a bit of on somewhat of a positive note. Again, Dolgan trying to get it to Daniel. Lost it out of bounds, and unfortunately it was last touched by Brooklyn, and it's NYU ball.
Smart play to get it to Daniel. Daniel just couldn't get the pass to put the ball in the basket.
And unfortunately, those are the little things you can't make mistakes against with NYU. Once you have to be, we've seen this, you have to be literally perfect against the Violets if you're going to have any chance. That's what we've seen throughout the season and from last year with this team.
Yep, they're holding for the last shot.
Well, the Violets are not going to rush it. They're going to take their time. Williamson throws up a shot. It's no good. And the Bulldogs are finally able to come up with the steal. And that closes out the first quarter as the Bulldogs trail 34-5 to the Violets. And we'll have to see what adjustments the Bulldogs are going to make as we come into the second quarter. And Pat, definitely... And Pat, right now, this is, do I want to say this? That first quarter was very demoralizing.
Demoralizing, a little humiliating, a little taken aback because Brooklyn has no offensive continuity whatsoever. We're going to get the stats, but I got to believe they're shooting less than 15% from the field.
In 13 years I've been calling Bulldogs games. I don't think I've ever seen the Bulldogs held to 5 points in a quarter.
In my 6 years, I haven't seen them score less than 10 points in a quarter. And
not many teams do this to Brooklyn.
No.
Not many teams do this.
But there are not many teams that are like the NYU Violets either.
Well, however you slice it, the Bulldogs have an uphill mountain to climb. I certainly have the hope if the Bulldogs maybe chip into this deficit a little bit, maybe give them a little momentum into the second half. But right now it's been all NYU, and for them they got off to basically a 7-point swing. Yeah. They scored 12 points in a matter of 4 minutes. Yeah, and that's insane in its own way. And
their proficiency on offense just goes to prove how much that they know each other. Here we go with the stats. How much they know each other. They know their spots on the court. And they feed the person who has a hot hand.
Bulldogs went 2 for 17 in the first quarter.
There you go.
So the Bulldogs 11.8%. The Violets shot 70% in the first quarter. 14 out of 20.
And 6 of 9 from the three-point range.
And that was only in one quarter.
Yes.
If this is what NYU, and that's already a scary sign to see when the Violets are able to put up points like that. So we'll just have to see how the Bulldogs can respond as we go into now the second quarter. Bulldogs will get the ball first. And again, even that pass barely got over the head of Palekia. And here's a long three, and there's a score put home. That was Danae McMullen knocking down that three for Brooklyn, and so the Bulldogs hit their second three of the night, down 34-8. Bruns, despite getting bumped into, put that shot home. Violets go back up 36-8.
But good offensive possession for Brooklyn, but bad defensive possession.
And again, Estrella has to like earn every inch of court just to make sure a 10-second was avoided. The Violets don't leave anything to chance on defense. They do not leave anything out. McMullen tries to make a move. Good behind the back pass.
Off the knees.
It fortunately went off the leg. Yeah, went off the foot of, that was off of Pepper. So, and what we've also noticed, right back to the starting 5.
5 seconds left on the shot clock.
5 on the shot clock, yes. Right back to the starting 5, by the way, went Coach Meg Barber. Bulldogs have to hurry and get it in. And it was not up. I felt like they blew right as she threw the ball in. If it was right at the 5-second mark, that was close. But it is what it is. The Bulldogs turn it over.
Dior Dorsey comes in for Gutierrez.
And you quickly see it, even with a 28-point lead, Coach Meg Barber's not hesitating to have her defense still line up on the play.
What'd you say before the game? They keep their foot on the gas. First foul committed by Brooklyn.
And this time, it took less than a minute for the first foul to be called in the second quarter compared to the first one got called with almost 30 seconds to go in the first.
That was on Daniel, her first, team's first, and only the game's second foul.
So it's been a clean game. Referees are letting both teams play. Driving it inside, Bruns lays it up and in. Went again, just going right around the double team and trusting her shot. And the Violets now up 30, 38-8.
And that's how you shoot over 50% from the field. If it's inside the paint, you got a high probability of making it.
You take the shot that the defense gives you. And Dorsey trying to make a few moves there, try to make a move around Batchelor. And again, just Palecchia just playing just relentless D. And again, the shot no good, and NYU is coming right back the other way.
And they don't slow down for anybody.
For the Bulldogs, it's basically been one and done. Inside to Bruns, and again, even with Daniel on her, Bruns got off the bump and then just put it home into the right wing and laid it up and in for the layup.
32-point lead for the Violets.
Estrella again, the double team by the Violets. Got
low.
it to Dorsey, Dolgan, too strong.
She rushed the shot because she didn't realize she was that open.
That was one of the few open looks the Bulldogs have had all day. Ball deflected, kept alive by fighting for the loose ball, and they're going to call Brooklyn for the foul.
See who that's going to be on.
I think it's Rafat.
Alina.
30.
Alina Estrella, her first, team second.
And Dorsey will exit, and will come Kitch. So Kitch luckily okay after she
It's a non-shooting foul, right?
It is not in the act of shooting, so Palecchia will inbound. And inbounding and right open there and putting it in right off the inbound to Jamie Behar.
Defensive lapse by Brooklyn.
Violets with 40 points. Dorsey tries to make a move inside. Gets it into Daniel. Fires a shot up. Little too strong. Dolgan. Offensive rebound by Daniel. It went off the foot of NYU and stays Brooklyn ball.
Daniel fighting hard to get that offensive rebound.
Well, this is the defense NYU comes out with. They play just such suffocating D. And it's very hard to the Bulldogs just haven't had much time to breathe. Estrella has to fire a long three. And it falls short, and Batchelor will pick it up.
See how quickly NYU gets up on the floor?
And another three is put home by Jamie Behar. Violets up 35 with under 7 to go in the second. Kitch. And tried to throw that into Dorsey. And again, just NYU beating every Bulldog to the pass. And the Bulldogs just have not been able to get any offensive flow. And
Victoria Kanzian comes in, 5'4" junior from New Dorp High School in Staten Island. Comes in for Daniel.
6:52 to go in the second quarter. Kanzian will inbound it to Kitch. And again, just no Bulldog can get open. Every Bulldog's covered.
Yep.
NYU just does not get off their man. They will stay planted on their defender and will not give in. And again, another turnover. And breaking away is Palekia. And quickly on the drive, Palekia puts it in. And it's 47-8 NYU with 6:28 to go.
Ooh.
Barely keeping that dribble was Dorsey. Whoa, and Estrella almost had her pocket picked. Did not see that Bachelor was right behind her.
You know what NYU does a very good job of? Fighting
that basket's in. Well, the Bulldogs have scored 10 points. It's 47-10. And Bruns traveled.
Yep. She saw the double team from Dorsey, and she shuffled her feet before she put the ball on the ground.
That's one of the few rare mistakes we've seen NYU make tonight in this game.
Aaliyah Rafat comes in for Mary Dolce.
Now the Bulldogs will inbound. Estrella. And you see the Violets bring 4 players up, and they already quickly 2 converge on Kitch. And Kitch just can't find space.
Jump ball.
And possession will go to NYU.
But see, that's a case where you see the double team coming, you see your teammate in trouble, come back to your teammate so she can make the pass. You can't run away from her, you got to run toward her.
But as you're seeing, and this is what NYU has been doing since the opening tip, and they do this to every opponent they've played.
Harass.
They just, they play hounding D. They just do not give you the time and space. Every battle up the court for opposing teams, it's like going through a minefield.
Oh,
that's a backcourt violation. It goes out of bounds. Palekia will not even pick it up.
So 2 straight unfortunate turnovers for NYU, but it's helping Brooklyn College, and can Brooklyn take advantage of it?
Well, that's been the key. Any mistake the Violets make, you have to take advantage. There's not even an if, and, or but. You have to take advantage of even the slightest turnover.
Yep.
And there's a quick pass. And you see, just all arms are out. We got a whistle. We're going to get a foul called on NYU. It's on Palekia, called for the reach.
And they don't need to do that. Their interior defense is good. You funnel them in to the double team. You don't have to reach for the ball. That's an unfortunate foul, but Brooklyn College trying to take advantage of the defense.
Long home run pass, got it into Dorsey and here's the shot and the score for Dior Dorsey. So the Bulldogs now with a couple points. They're down 47-12 with 5:16 to go.
But you can't rest because NYU's going to come right back.
NYU just comes right back down. They're not even. And there's went out of bounds. 3 consecutive turnovers by the Violets. So Bulldogs trying to fight back, and they're showing some of that fight right now.
Defensively, Brooklyn was good as they were rotating the ball, getting back to the rotated player.
Gets it in, Dorsey. Takes a short floater, but just did not have enough arc on that shot. And the Violets come the other way with it once again. And it's so quick how they get down the court so quickly. Long feed, and blocked on Bruns. Stepped out of bounds, though, did Dorsey, but that was one of the few times the Bulldogs made a good defensive stop on the high-talented Bruns. Substitution now, Fahey will come in, replacing Jamie Behar. So this time, Coach Barber did not do a 5 swap, just subbed out 1.
Yep.
And a turnover. A rare turnover on the inbound. Here come the Bulldogs. Estrella drives. Shot is up, and it's good. And now the Bulldogs beginning to get a little momentum here. They're down 47-14. But Palekia comes right back down, and her layup is a little too strong. Bruns knocks it in. That's Bachelor knocking it in plus a foul. And just like that, NYU quickly broke the little momentum swing the Bulldogs got on, and they will go to the free throw line.
Here come the other 4. She got 1, now the other 4 come in.
So Alexander's coming back in along with Alvarado, along with Williamson, and back in comes Kenny.
So Bachelor goes to the line to try to complete the 3-point play.
This is the first free throw, by the way, for either team so far tonight.
Yep.
Free throw for Bachelor is good. And now the Violets will complete the last change, and in comes Alexander. Bulldogs down 50-14. So far, the Violets have been held to just 16 points in this quarter. Ball deflects out of bounds.
The official's going to get help because
was it last touch by NYU? It's Brooklyn ball. Yeah, it's the last touch by the Violets.
Right in front of the Brooklyn bench.
Looking for space. Bulldogs get it in just before the 5 seconds. And Estrella's now got to get it up with 5 seconds or it's a 10-second violation. And just gets it over the line. Bulldogs moving the ball a little better, but again, the Violets with that hounding D just not giving the Bulldogs any time. And again, you quickly see how fast Williamson is right on top of Estrella. But Estrella gets the jumper off and scores. So the Bulldogs now are taking some better open looks, and now the shots are beginning to fall.
This is what Brooklyn needs to do. You see Alina Estrella get to the foul line, drive in, pull back, and pull up and get the mid-range shot. That's what shots that NYU is giving you. Take what they're giving you. Don't drive into the defense and give the defense the opportunity to take the ball.
Estrella got tied up with Mary Kate Fahey and got called for the foul. That's the third foul against the Bulldogs.
And her second.
And now it's going to be Williamson. And the Violets continuing to move it around. Alvarado, quick inside to Alexander. That shot is no good, and another foul is called. And now the fouls are beginning to now be called when there was only one foul call in the entire first quarter.
Yep. And who's that on?
That's on Dior Dorsey. That's going to be number one on her. And now it's going to be free throws for the Violets. 3:41 to go here in the second.
And one more foul committed by Brooklyn puts the Violets in the bonus.
Shot is no good. So a rare miss at the line for Zara Alexander. She'll line up for her second shot. Second free throw is good. Bulldogs trail 51-16. And Estrella. And there's Williamson again, just playing that hounding D. And Estrella just got it over the line before 10 seconds. And you see how quick, how the Violets stick to their defender. They just don't give you much time and space. And here's a long three. Off the rim, a little too strong there that was by Cancian. And now here comes Mary Kate Fahey the other way. And just the ball movement has just been really just incredible to watch by the Violets. The Bulldogs get a miss there. Oh, Estrella lost it.
Stolen.
Got her pocket picked by Williamson, and driving it in and laying it up and putting it in is Caitlin Kenny. And the Violets go up 53-16 with under 3 minutes to go. Estrella. Waldvogel getting ready to check in for Brooklyn. 2:35 to go here in the first half. Bulldogs trailing 53-16. And now we're going to see some more of the NYU bench getting ready to check in. Kitch with a drive. Shot is no good. And Bulldogs quickly transition back. But Mary Kate Fahey with a wide open three. Shot was a little too strong, but it fell right into the hands of the Violets. Alvarado got a second chance. Shot no good. And again, another foul against Brooklyn, and she'll go to the free throw line. And the second, third chance effort by the Violets drew another foul. Bulldogs will make another change. McMullen comes in along with Daniel. And back into the game also comes Waldvogel. Taking a seat will be Kitch, Estrella, and Dorsey. Timeout is called by Brooklyn. For the Violets, getting ready to check in will be Pika Vandermaas, the 6'1 freshman out of Sydney, Australia.
Yep.
So with 2:09 to go, the Bulldogs trailing 53-16 up. So, the Bulldogs have put up some more points in this quarter, but again, it's been an uphill battle literally pretty much since the opening 2 minutes.
They've been trying to climb Mount Everest without mountain gear. That's what it's been right now. But I like the fact that Brooklyn is not hanging their head. They're not just like, we're not going to try and play at all. They are trying to play, but NYU is just overpowering them right now.
Well, you just see the difference. You see why this Violet team, their free throw is no good there from Alvarado, but you see why this Violet team has been off to this run that they've been on. and why they're defending national champions.
Yep.
Free throw number 2 is good. So 1 out of 2 at the line, and now coming in is Vandermaas. She'll take over for Alvarado. With 2:09 to go, Bulldogs are down 54-16. We'll also provide you with updates on the men's Bulldogs as we speak. They're taking on the Stevens Institute of University Ducks. That game will be at 7 o'clock. And now Waldvogel tries to look for some space. Daniel. Kansian will try a 3. Air ball. Ball deflected off of Dolgan.
No, that was Rafat.
Off Rafat, excuse me.
Rafat didn't even see it coming because it hit off the front of the rim, and hit her in the back of the head.
And right now, just very little right now is going the Bulldogs' way right now. As the Violets just continue to, just with this unrelenting attack. And there's a 3 and a score for Mary Kate Fahey from downtown. Bulldogs down 57-16. A minute 30 to go. Bulldogs just trying to get over the half-court line. And Waldvogel turned it over, but fortunate for the sideline that the Violets didn't have a breakaway the other way.
This is the problem that I'm having with Brooklyn trying to break the press. They only have one person on the sideline, nobody's at the middle of the court, and nobody's coming down the sideline on the opposite side to give them some relief.
Do you think it's a matter of NYU is changing the press up each time?
No, it's you have to recognize where the double team is coming from and then get there.
And a good roll by Waldvogel, letting the ball kind of roll on the ground a bit. Daniel drives, blocked from behind and taken by the Violets. Here's Vandermaas, and she lost the handle, but Fahey keeps it in. Under a minute to go in the first half. Vandermaas traveled. Well, that's I think the 5th travel the Violets have committed tonight.
Yep.
Bulldogs trailing by 41. It's 57-16.
Now see what I'm talking about? They're telegraphing where the double team is coming.
And they're passing kind of right into the teeth of it as well.
See, now, finally, there you go, turn around.
McMullen's blocked in a foul, and that should be free throws. That was in the act of shooting. But that's only the 3rd foul as a team altogether against the Violets.
First time Brooklyn's going to go to the free throw line. It's going to be McMullen.
McMullen will take 2 big free throws here. I believe the foul was called on Vandermaas. And free throw for McMullen is good. Got the friendly roll. 57-17. Second free throw coming for McMullen. Shot is up, and it's good. McMullen knocks down 2. Bulldogs trailing 57-18. 45 seconds to go here in the first half. Alexander drives, lays it up and in, and the Violets go up 59-18. And again, the Violets just continuing with the full court press. They have not let up with this press since the beginning of this game. And Dolgan just was able to keep the ball in her hand.
Dribble, you can dribble. There you go.
And Dolgan does. And travel was called on Dolgan.
Okay.
I mean, not much Dolgan could have done there. Was trying to escape the defense, but the ball wiggled out of her hand. 59-18, and Violets can hold for the last shot to close out the first half in what has so far been a dominant first half by the NYU Violets.
That's an understatement. Dominating is just one of the words that you could use.
Bulldogs trying to set up for a stop. And the Violets just taking their time, and Williamson will drive. Blocked on the end by Dolgan, and that will do it for the first half, as the Violets will take a 59-18 lead into the locker room. And just rough. It's just been a rough go of things tonight for the Bulldogs. And when you're facing a team like this, for the Violets that have this proficient offense and the way they attack the paint, and just their ability to play hounding D, it's fighting an uphill battle literally before the opening tip.
You give credit to where credit is due. The NYU basketball team, very well coached, very disciplined, very tall and lanky, playing into the passing lanes, and they do not give you any time to recoup. They are putting the pressure on you, keeping the pressure on you, and as soon as you score a basket, they're immediately off trying to get the basket that you just scored back.
I want to just go through a few of these games that NYU's played this year. There has not been one game this year NYU's played out of their 7 that they haven't won a game by at least 20 or more points.
True.
Every game's been at least 20 points or more. They beat MIT 80-39. Babson was the game they scored the fewest points, 65.
Yes.
And still won that game by 29. They beat Kane University by almost 70. They beat Merchant Marine by 41. They beat Colby College, another team in the NESCAC conference. They beat them by 34, 90-56. They beat SUNY Cobleskill, scoring 119.
The most points they've scored.
And that one they won by over 60. And then the last game against Tufts, a team that's known for defense, and they blew out Tufts 97-50.
And you think about this, right? They're not playing teams that aren't good.
They're playing tough teams.
They're playing tough teams.
But even the tough teams cannot pick up this defense of the Violets.
Annihilate. They are swarming. They are smothering. It's like a good old country fried steak with the gravy. There's no room for no gravy. Everything is covered.
Literally, for any opponent that's playing the Violets, there's no margin for error. That's basically what it is.
No, they make you pay with what they're playing.
And we have our stats here for the first half. And, well, the Violets, 24 of 35 from the field.
68.6%. And not that much less from 3 points, 66.7, 8 of 12.
And this was a point where they had not really done as well from was 3 points. They're only about a 32% team from downtown, but not been the case tonight. The Violets are basically shooting 66%.
Yep.
The Bulldogs are 2 of 8 from downtown, 7 of 31 from the field, which is just a shave under 23%. 8 rebounds. The Violets have 27.
Yep. And look at this. Fast break points, 23-5, and in the paint points, 32-2.
You know what I find shocking? The Violets have 9 turnovers.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing I find shocking is they have 9 turnovers in this game.
And Brooklyn has 6 of their points off of those turnovers.
The few points that free points that NYU might give you, the Bulldogs have had to take those points to score with.
So if you are Coach Campbell and the coaching staff, when you're going into the locker room, what do you think they are talking about right now?
I mean, forget what the score is right now. That's all you can really say. Forget about the score. Just go out there and just play with energy. Just play with heart out there and do the best you can. It's, this is just one of those teams that, in order to beat a team like NYU, you have to play perfect. Any little mistake is a difference of winning or losing the game. The Bulldogs just have to look at, forget that. We have to just go out and play NYU for the final 20 minutes and just play them as hard as you can.
I say, me personally, I like the fact you're saying come out, the game is just starting at 0-0. I like the fact that Brooklyn College is still fighting through. Are things not going their way? Of course. Are they getting blown out? Yes, they are. But their mentality is we're going to continue to play as we are supposed to play. I'm sure Coach Cameron's like, we need to play more efficiently. We need to knock down the open shots that we are getting, because it's not like they aren't open shots that we can take. In that first quarter, we were 2 for 12, and half of those shots that we missed were open shots. So get back, put the pressure. Alina Estrella was doing a good job getting in the paint, pulling out. As the defense sinks, you turn around, hit the 12-footer, hit the 15-footer, make the defense come to you, and then maybe you open some passing lanes to get an easy layup now and then.
Well, we'll see how the Bulldogs will come out in the second half. We'll see if they can find a way to crack this really tough defense of the Violets. But we're going to find that out in a moment. But right now, we're going to take a little break. We'll step aside. We'll hope to have Coach Rocco Soletto join us for our halftime report. And we'll be back to the game here on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. And we're back with us with assistant coach Rocco Soletto here for the Brooklyn College Bulldogs halftime. And coach, well, from the opening tip-off, the key was keeping NYU at bay, and right now NYU got off to that really fast start. And you guys have shown at times to hang to kind of keep your footing with them, but what have you seen from the first half against the Violets?
We knew they were going to run, and we needed to get back in transition, and we didn't get back in transition. They have 23 points in transition. Once it gets to that pace, then things get a little out of control. I think we're doing a pretty good job against their press, so that hasn't been an issue. It's when we get into the half court that we got to get better shots. We got to get aggressive. We're not looking, we're not getting off the dribble. We're not getting to the rim. So that's the stuff we're going to work on in the second half. And we also got to keep our effort up. We got to get back in transition. We got to look to push the ball. That's the best you can do. They're great. Obviously they're a great team. They hit their shots. They shot over 60%. We're shooting about 20-something%. So, hopefully, we let the first half go. Second half is a different game. That's how we're approaching it.
Exactly what we said. So, Coach, offensively, it seems like when you break down the defense and they sink in, they're giving you the 12 to 15-footer, and I think you can take advantage of that instead of driving into the defense and giving the ball away.
There's no doubt about it. There were shots to be taken there. It's just we're not finding the right people at this point.
Do you feel like their defense has been a little bit of an intimidation factor a little bit? Is maybe the team a little
it's what we allow it to be. That's what it comes down to. It's basketball. There's certain rules. They have to play within the rules. So it doesn't change that way. But I think, mentally, if you let it do that, then it's a problem. So hopefully we'll get that out of our system. Second half, play a little more aggressive, get back in transition, and take better shots.
All right,
that'll be it.
Thank you.
Coach Soletto, thank you so much.
All
right, that was Coach Rocco Soletto. Brooklyn College Bulldogs trailing by a score of 59-18 at the end of the first half.
Yep.
And right now, as we will now get ourselves back in here to start the second half, definitely, Pat, Coach Soletto was very clear about what needs to change, and the Bulldogs definitely have to come out with a little more intensity.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. By the way, just to let all the fans out there know, on Monday, December the 16th, at Boyden Hall Cafeteria, the undergrad student government is having a Bulldog breakfast from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is right here on campus, December 16th. It's a Monday. Free breakfast. Come out, support student government.
Beautiful. That's just a great thing that this college, that this program does for all their students, and it's great that they give back to the community as well. All right, so the Brooklyn College Bulldogs, NYU Violets, ready to resume the second half, and we'll see if the Bulldogs can make a dent in the Violet defense. As we've said, the Violets are a team that averaged 93 points per game, and the Bulldogs are just going to have to focus and just play within their game, and they'll get the ball first to start, and we'll see how the Bulldogs break.
And they're only 34 points away from that 93 mark, and they hit that in the first quarter.
Violets are going with their starting five once again. And very quickly, a tip pass, but fell right to Kitch's hands. Knocks down a three, and that's a good start for the Bulldogs to kick off the opening quarter. They trail 59-21.
Excellent start. Great ball movement, but here comes NYU.
And there's a long three, but it just missed. Dolgan was able to get it. And the Bulldogs break out of the pressure, and here they come. Here comes Kitch. Kitch drives, lays it up, and scores!
Hey.
Bulldogs with 5 consecutive points. And just like that, the Bulldogs, like being shot out of a cannon, are on a 5-0 run.
Hey, it's the first 5 minutes,
and
right?
The crowd's getting into it as well.
We're getting into it, yes.
And that's good to see. Palekia now, right inside and laying it up and putting it home, was Caroline Pepper. And the Violets quickly break the Bulldogs' 5-0 run and go up 61-23. There's a good long pass in. Good behind the back there to get it to Estrella. So the Bulldogs, well, they came out of the gun. Did they find a little crack in the defense of the Violets? Here's Kitch firing another long three. Just rolled in and out. And Dolgan got taken down, but was shoved out of bounds, but it was ruled the ball went out of bounds. and it's Violet ball.
She got assisted on that out of bounds. She got bumped hard.
Well, the Violets are not going to hesitate in playing physical ball if they have to. And now here's Palekia. And right inside and laying it off the rim and in, putting it home there was Jamie Behar. So just like that, 4 points off the board already by the Violets after the Bulldogs scored the first 5. Estrella to Dorsey. And Estrella has to reset. And again, just playing pressuring defense on her right now is Batchelor. And trying to find some space. Estrella, again, standing and fires a strong shot off the backboard, but no good. And the Violets come right back, but that pass went a little too far, out of bounds for Pepper. And the Violets turn it over with 7:47 to go.
If Estrella did the pump fake, get her up in the air, she can put the ball up and get a foul and hopefully a three-point play.
7:43 remaining in the third quarter. And Kitch. Kitch was threw that into traffic and laying it up and in, putting it home was Brooke Batchelor. And I didn't even have to hesitate knowing that was going to go in, because once you give the Violets an open space like that, Kitch got double teamed. The ball fell right into the hands of Rafat, but Dolgan threw up a long three.
That was partially
air
blocked.
ball. Palekia got her on the double team and shot was a little too strong. Estrella, Bulldogs have a fast break if they hurry. Instead, Estrella will back it off. Dorsey from the elbow, could not get the friendly roll.
She was upset. She was like, I thought that was going to go in.
But can't let it affect the next play, and Dorsey gets back. And here come the Bulldogs playing up tight on the Violets. But there's a long three off the rim, but the Bulldogs finally get the rebound. So the Violets, another steal, right as I was about to say. But here comes Pepper. She lost the ball out of bounds. Bulldogs got a very fortunate break.
So Pepper had some hot sauce on her hands because she was thinking about passing or shooting, and the ball just slipped right out and went out of bounds.
Yep.
Daniels comes in for Brooklyn.
Bulldogs down 42 with 6.5 to go here in the third. Mia Daniel now is in, drives off the backboard, too strong, and we're going to get a whistle. Are they calling this against Brooklyn? It looks like, based on Campbell, that's a yes. Two Bulldogs got double teamed, and one Daniel went kind of over the top and went down.
So that foul is on Daniel.
Crowd is going to voice their displeasure.
Yeah, I'm voicing my displeasure a little bit with that too.
It is what it is. 6:21 to go, and
both players were going after the ball. I didn't see if it was over the back or not. They have a much better view of that. So we're going to come back, and Brooklyn's on defense.
And now it's Bruns. And here comes Pepper. They called a moving screen against the Violets. 6:10 to go.
What Brooklyn has done in the second half is actually slowed down NYU's offense.
Which is good to see, but ball was just saved by Estrella. Estrella moving in, jump shot is good. So the Bulldogs turned that broken play and were able to get a basket out of it and trail 65-25. Good defense by Dorsey on Palekia there, but the Violets keep coming in, and here's a shot and a rare rushed shot by the Violets, and the Bulldogs get it back. Here comes Estrella. Estrella swings it out. Daniel for three. Little too high. Off the rim, and back it goes to Behar, and driving it inside to Palekia. Shot was too strong. Palekia got the rebound right back and put it in high off the backboard and in. But definitely you see the Bulldogs playing a little more edge in this half. You're definitely seeing the edge coming out of the Bulldogs here. Kitch.
Double, come to her.
And gets it to Estrella. Dorsey fires an open three. Little too high. Saved and put on it and kept alive by Behar. And right in to lay it up and in is Bruns. Right from the left post. Timeout is called by Brooklyn with 4:55 left.
That was great ball movement there by the Violets. Good defensive rebound. Got it up the court real fast. Put pressure on Brooklyn's defense. Had a 2-on-1. Easy layup.
And this is just the quick ball movement that the Violets have come out with throughout this entire game. Just every pass that you've seen the Violets make tonight, Pat, is a precision pass.
Yeah,
these are not passes that unless you are playing together for years and you're regularly going through these drills on a regular basis, that's the only way you make passes that clean.
Well, think about it. In practice, you know they have to be going over these drills over and over and over again, and that's how you get as proficient as they are. For Brooklyn, I keep saying it, you can identify when the double and triple team's coming, and if you're the teammate, you have to go to the ball. You can't stand there and wait and hope they're going to break the press. No, expect the double team to trap them so you can come back and give the help that's necessary.
4:55 left to go here in the third quarter. It's 69-25, NYU Violets leading. You're watching Brooklyn College Bulldogs basketball on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. Jonathan Pariente alongside my broadcast partner, Pat Brown. We thank you so much for taking some of your Wednesday night here to join us. And the pass was overthrown from Dolgan, and
yeah, that was Alina Estrella's fault right there. She got it over the defense, but just a little too much energy on the pass.
And really wasn't a need to have to lob that over. Dolgan was pretty open on her own, but now the Bulldogs have to get back defensively, and the Violets continuing to attack. And now the Violets are going, by the way, with their bench five, and there's a three by Mary Kate Fahey, and the Violets go up 72-25.
That's her third three-pointer, Fahey.
And now Daniel.
See the double?
This time, though, but this go around, the Violets didn't come out with a full court press like we've typically seen. Good bounce pass from Aaliyah, and a travel called against McMullen.
Yeah, she went into the forest and she got chopped down.
And now coming in will be Kitch, replacing Aaliyah. 4:03 left to play here in the third.
Gutierrez also checked in.
So the Bulldogs going with their bench. Alvarado. Williamson thought about a shot but did not take it. Now Fahey. And the Bulldogs again, just a crisp ball movement. Once again, Alexander with the left hand couldn't quite finish, but right there to put it home was Alvarado with the left. And the Violets now up 74-25, and they're 19 away from their average of 93 points per game. As Dolgan is getting ready to check in, and for the Bulldogs, just trying to find anything. Bulldogs came off strong. Here's a three for Kitch, rebounded though by Gutierrez. Swings it back out to Estrella. She'll fire for three and a score. The three-point ball has been the best friend of the Bulldogs here tonight. They're down 74-28 with 3:10 to go.
And so far,
Williamson got under the basket. Fahey for a long three. Air a little too strong, but Alvarado tried to get it up, and a foul is called.
I think that's going to be on
Kitch,
McMullen.
We'll check the foul, but it's the Bulldogs' first team foul,
Yep.
and it will be free throws. Yeah, McMullen's going to get called. 3:01 to go here in the third. McMullen will sit now.
And Dolgan comes back in.
3:01 remaining here in the third quarter.
Oh, no, it was Estrella.
Estrella, that's her third.
Yeah.
That's three fouls on Alina Estrella. And now we're going to have Sandra Diaz. I thought Sandra Diaz was getting ready to check in. Free throw number one is good from Alvarado. Violets go up 75-28. The Violets as a whole they're about a 70. They're 70% as a team from the line, but they missed a few free throws tonight, which is not typical. But free throw number two there is good from Alvarado. And the Violets go up 76-28 with under 3 minutes to go. Estrella moves inside, gets it out to Kitch, top of the key. Estrella swings it over to Daniel. Now Estrella. And again, two more Violets converge there on defense and kicking it back. Daniel a long three, too strong. Violets get that on the run. We get a couple players fell down, and the ball finally went out of bounds. As two Violets tumbled, that was Williamson who went down along with Alexander.
That's the first hustle play I've seen Brooklyn make all night. Going after a loose ball, diving on the floor, fighting for it.
Well, that was one of those rare situations where it was a live ball.
Yeah.
And anybody could go after it, but there hasn't just been many of that because for the Violets, they're not really prone to turning over the ball very much. But Bulldogs get a break. They get the ball back. And now Estrella driving it out to Gutierrez. Now Kitch will fire a long three. Dolgan saved it. Tried to kick it off the foot, but it was...
She threw it right into the stomach of Kenny.
Well, there wasn't much space to go. There was only one place that ball could have gone. And now Kenny gets around the double team, fires a jump shot. No good. And Kenny gets it back and threw it right to Estrella. And we got a foul called on Kenny, who got a little too aggressive.
Yep.
And that's the first foul called on the Violets here in the third.
1:53 left to go, and Jonathan, they've only scored 17 points in this quarter, and Brooklyn scored 10.
Well, it's definitely a good sign.
Yeah.
Maybe are the Violets beginning to wear down a little bit? Possibly, but the Violets did their damage early on in the first half. But the Bulldogs are still trying to hang tough. They're trying to be game. And Estrella moves inside. Kitch with a long three and a score. And the Bulldogs have cracked 30 points. It's 76-31. The Bulldogs have to get back defensively, and they do. They cover back Alexander. And a wide open three by Williamson. And the Violets go right back up 48, leading 79-31. We're down to 1 minute and 6 to go here in the third.
See what I'm talking
Estrella swings it out to Dolgan. Dolgan fired a three. It was blocked. It went off the backboard out of bounds. It'll stay Brooklyn ball due to the block tip on the shot.
You see what I'm talking about? Brooklyn College, they come down, make a three, and immediately NY comes down and they knock down the three to take the momentum that you just got right from you.
And it may not seem like much in this game, but it's backbreaking. It's such a backbreaking play because you've worked so hard for that basket, and then to give it up easily right back the other way.
Within 15 seconds.
Yep. Here's a long three. And a score counted and a foul. One of the Violets went down.
Hurt.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Kitch knocked down the shot.
One
of the Violets went down right in front of the bench.
Yeah. And she is.
And we saw Violet go down in the last game when these two played. Let's take a look. And remember, the bench came in, so that is.
Can't see, but she went down hard. And she's looking at the lower right leg.
That's Caitlin Kenny who's down.
Oh.
That is Caitlin Kenny, who's had a great defensive game. And she went down awkwardly after Kitch made that shot.
She came down on Kitch's leg, and I guess it buckled. And I don't want to speculate, but
you hope it's not an ACL.
Yes,
you hope that's not an ACL injury.
I hope she's going to be okay, not just for this game, but for the season. You never want to see anybody get
Kenny,
hurt.
you can see, is just in tears right now. In tears. It's immediately. You knew immediately when she went down, and you see that how much pain she's in. That this is not a good injury.
No.
And you never want to see any players hurt. It doesn't matter what the score is. You never want to see a player from either side get hurt.
You just want to see them compete against each other, nice and clean. And it's unfortunate that injuries do happen. And
this was not a knee-to-knee collision. This was just planting the foot on the ground, and that's the scariest thing with how if again we don't know, we will not know what kind of injury this is yet, but
I'm praying that it's not serious, that it's just a twist of the ankle.
Well, she's sitting up now, but she has to be helped off the court.
Let's see.
Coach Barber's helping her off. Yeah, she has. She's trying to. She is putting some weight. All right, she's walking off. But Caitlin Kenny is. We'll go to the bench. She's walking off.
Yes.
All right, thank goodness. Thankfully, this doesn't look like it was as serious as we feared it was. But she was down for several minutes. But Kenny's all right.
And she's walking with no limp, so that's good. Like I said, probably just, sometimes the shock of it gets you a little more nervous than what actually is in a pain factor. And then once you relax and take your time, the pain goes away. And you can see she's walking with no problem.
The foul was on Caitlin Kenny, by the way. Yes. So that will be a free throw. So it's a 3-point play. It was a 2-point shot that Kitch hit. So the Bulldogs with a chance to knock down an and one. And Kitch will take the free throw, and it's no good. First miss at the line for the Bulldogs. We're under 50 seconds to go here in the third. As Williamson will bring it over to Alvarado. And here come the Violets just quickly with a quick rotation. Fahey for three. That shot is a little too strong. Ball went off of Dolgan's hands but went right to Alexander. And the ball is stolen, and here comes Kitch. Good anticipation. Kitch driving. Lays it up. They will wave it off. It was an offensive charge against Kitch.
And did you see what Coach Campbell said? She said, you know what? I like that. Good aggressiveness, Kitch. She did not like the call, but she loved the aggressiveness of Anna Kitch.
Well, you don't fault Kitch for that play. She made a good defensive play and tried to inject a little energy. Vandermest is getting ready to come in for NYU.
1 second differential between game clock and shot clock.
Alexander now to Fahey. And the Violets just will take their time. They don't have to take any rush of shot. Alexander gets behind the defense and puts it in. And the Violets go up 81-33. With 2 seconds, Kitch fires up a shot off the front of the rim. No good, and that will do it for the third quarter as the Violets lead 81-33 going into the final quarter, and they're 19 away from the century mark of 100 points.
And Brooklyn got outscored 22-15.
Well, that was a stronger quarter for the Bulldogs. It felt like a quarter they were right. They felt like they were in it.
And this is what we were talking about, Jonathan. You said it yourself. Come out as if the game just started. If this was the game just started, you're happy only being down 7, other than being down over 20.
Well, the Bulldogs came out of the gate. They came out of the gate swinging. 5 straight points. So you love the energy. Kitch turned it up towards the end, and the Bulldogs definitely. That was one of the better quarters we've seen the Bulldogs play tonight.
Listen, they scored 15. They scored 18 points in the whole first half. They scored 15 in the third quarter. So that's telling you right there, they're definitely got a lot better. Defense, they still got to get back on defense, close out on the shooters. And now, offensive rebounding are starting to come back for Brooklyn, but NYU still going to keep that pressure on you, still going to not give you any room.
Well, we're going to have to see if the Bulldogs can just finish out the fourth quarter on a strong note. And will it be possible to hold NYU to under 100? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. But the Bulldogs, they just want to come out and finish strong. Now, unless the Bulldogs get off to one of the most ridiculous shooting performances I've ever seen, and they somehow score 50 points in 10 minutes, anything's possible.
I'd like to see Brooklyn get to 50 points, because last year they only scored 46.
Well, they're 17 away from that happening. Yep. The Violets are now going to empty out more of their bench, so now they're going to go to their full reserve. Serenity McNair is in the game, along with Alexia Musarulis. There's a layup and put home by Yasmin Clark. You also have Vandermest in there. And staying in and also in the game, Musarulis. So you have Musarulis, here's a long 3 attempt, no good. Rebounded by Serenity McNair. McNair will bring it up, we get a whistle, foul is called. Brooklyn will get called for the foul. It's going to be their first team foul of the fourth. 9:26 to go. Dorsey will get called.
That's her second.
So you have Vandermest, you have Kelsey Du Bois, you have Clark, you have Musarulis, and you have McNair. So it's a full bench now for the Violets. Tip pass, but gets it right back to Vandermest, and a travel call on Vandermest. And it's Brooklyn ball with 9:14 remaining.
If you're going to make a move, this is the time to make the move with the third string on the floor.
Well, it's a chance to collect some points off the board. Walt Vogel is now going to come in for the Bulldogs. So Megan Campbell's basically, I think, going to do the same thing and put her reserves in, because there's no reason to really run the starters out here in a game like this much longer.
I actually disagree with that. I want your starters out there and let them get work, get some continuity going.
And Kitch is on and stay in there, and right there, Musarulis put it out, but couldn't finish. And that was a rare wide-open layup the Violets had that they did not capitalize on. Bulldogs get a big break. Here comes Kitch. Kitch slowing things down, watched by Vandermest. And Kitch had it thrown up in the air. Kitch fell down on it. A foul is called on Vandermest as Kitch was falling down. So she'll get whistled for the foul. That's the first team foul on NYU. 8:52 to go here in the fourth.
Kitch was very careless with the basketball. That's why it went up in the air. She was very fortunate that she got fouled by Vandermest.
There's been throughout the game, the Bulldogs have done a little bit of that, a little too much dribbling. You have to have the confidence to take that move, to make that move, or take that open shot when it's there. Waldvogel kicks it out, and now Kitch tries to make a move inside, can't. Waldvogel just kind of threw the shot up. I think may have gotten it tipped out of her hand. And now here comes McNair, and driving it in. Vandermesh.
Good defense.
Here's a hounding D, but McNair has it. And swings it out to Du Bois. Musarulis. Here's a long three. Off the rim, no good, and it's taken by Dior. And now slowing it down and bringing it back up is Waldvogel. And Kitch trying to just look for some open space. Kitch will drive, lay it up too strong, but a foul is called. It's on Musarulis. That will be her first. Second team foul on the Violets. So already the fouls are picking up already within just a minute and change of the fourth quarter.
I think Brooklyn is getting to the basket, going strong, being aggressive, and I like seeing that.
Sandra Diaz has checked in for Brooklyn. Going to the bench will be Waldvogel.
First free throw is coming for Anna Kitch.
First free throw is rimmed in and out, no good. And it's still 83-33 Violets. 8:07 to go.
Only 2-point score in a minute and 53 seconds.
Second free throw coming for Kitch. Shot is up. It's good. Bulldogs trail 83-34. And now it's McNair. And giving up to Musarulis. And the Bulldogs getting the defense back up. There's Dorsey. Good pick of the pocket of Vandermesh. Bulldogs have a 2-0 break. But McNair, look how quickly McNair came down. Dorsey just could not put it home. But Sandra Diaz picked it up. Gets it back to Kitch.
Regroup.
Well, that was incredible closing speed by McNair. I have not seen players that can usually match Dior's speed. Dorsey puts the shot up. It's no good. As Dorsey went down, the Bulldogs picked it right back up. And swinging it to Dorsey, who came right back in. Here's Dolgen. Dolgen threw it up right there to Diaz. That was Gutierrez. I'm sorry, that shot was not finished there. And here comes McNair. Ball was tipped a bit in the air, but kept alive by Du Bois. Dribbling it inside, counted, and a foul as the basket was scored by Yasmin Clark.
And that was fouled by 15, Dolgen.
And now more subs coming in. And now back into the game for NYU. That is Josie Munson. She'll check in, replacing Musarulis. Out will go Kitch, and out will go Gutierrez. And back into the game now comes Amia Daniel
and Aaliyah Rafat.
Free throw coming for Yasmin Clark, and it's good. And it's 86-34 Violets, where you're down to 7:10 to go. Here's Diaz now as the Bulldogs looking for their first field goal of the fourth. Dorsey. Get a whistle. Foul is called. It's going to be on Serenity McNair.
Yep.
That's the 13th foul in the Violets, so this is the most fouls they've committed in any quarter tonight.
Let Brooklyn keep doing it and get to the free throw line. Try and get into the bonus.
And will be inbounded. And looking for space. Daniel trying to find someone. Got it to Dorsey. And
wow.
Well, Aaliyah was knocked down. Shot is no good. They wave it off, an offensive charge against Aaliyah Rafat.
Campbell's not happy with that call either. But
still showing encouragement.
Effort.
Still showing encouragement.
Yes, indeed.
6:49 remaining. Bulldogs trailing 86-34. So 3 fouls apiece for each team. And I believe the Violets will... rare overthrow of a pass. Overthrown there by Josie Munson.
She threw it right to the bench. The assistant coach caught it.
And the Bulldogs will pick it up. And there's Diaz. Bulldogs looking for their field goal. Shot from Dorsey's a little too strong. And Munson wide open. Clark and lays it up and in. Right in the right low post by Clark.
Brooklyn not getting back on transition defense.
And the ball just saved by Dorsey from going out of bounds. Here comes Aaliyah. Dorsey. And again, just hounding even the
Travel.
Another travel called on the Bulldogs, and now the turnovers are starting to bite the Bulldogs. With 6:02 remaining, it's 88-34 Violets, and Bulldogs are still looking for their first field goal. They've had one free throw.
Yep, 1 point. Being outscored 7-1.
And we get a travel called against Yasmin Clark.
Yeah,
so that makes up for the travel going the other way.
Yes.
And now Danae McMullen is going to check in for Brooklyn.
She's coming in for, who's she coming for?
Looks like it's Dolgen. Yep, Dolgen will sit. 5:52 remaining. It's 88-34 Violets. And Diaz. And only one player up, and that's McNair, but she is playing good defense here against Sandra Diaz. And now Aaliyah will look for space. Daniel. Here's a little jump shot by Rafat. It's a little too strong. And the Violets have a 2-0 break, but look how quickly Dorsey got back. But the layup is put home by Munson, and now 90 points on the board for NYU as they're 10 away from the 100 mark.
Yep.
And 3 away from their average of 93 a game with 5:27 to go.
Offensively, Brooklyn is a little discombobulated against the third string, and I don't know why. I think they're just going way too fast. Way too fast.
It's a combination of fast, and again, like a lot of these, you also know that a lot of the bench, this is not a lot of minutes that the bench is used to playing. For some of these players, depending on the games, if they're tight games, the bench is not going to see a lot of action. And the Bulldogs did have to win a few survival matchups this year.
Yep. But when you get your opponent's third string on the floor, you know the third string is going to be playing just as hard as the first string.
Absolutely right.
So your energy can't decrease because of the third string, because that third string is going to play like they're the first string. I want to give a shout out to the Brooklyn College cheerleaders that are behind the score table. They're going to the UCW Nationals in January of 2025 in Orlando, Florida.
And we'll be pulling for the cheerleading team every step of the way.
Most definitely. Head coach Tony Ancona.
Musarulis has come back into the game for NYU. Ball was thrown at the feet of Diaz. Fight for the ball. Jump ball is called. Possession will go to Brooklyn this time. With 5:14, Bulldogs still looking for their first field goal.
Halfway through the quarter.
Bulldogs, remember, were held to 5 points in the first. McMullen. And now to Daniel. Threw that pass inside. Oh, right there to clean it up. Couldn't put it home. Ball's deflected out of bounds. It'll stay Bulldogs ball.
Oh, McMullen wish he had that one back.
And it was a good look as well, but McMullen could not finish it.
Just going a little too fast.
Well, you're sounding like Terrence Fletcher from Whiplash. A little bit. Oh, and Aaliyah got taken down. The ball deflected out, so still Bulldogs ball. But you see, even with the third string, this NYU team is so well-rounded for all three levels of the bench. Because of the games the Violets win in the fashion they do, that's why the third string can see the minutes they're seeing. They can play a full quarter, and you feel fine about it. Swinging it out, Diaz. Aaliyah for three. Shot was too strong, but another offensive board for McMullen. And now Daniel. And finally, the third effort, and the Bulldogs score their first field goal with 4:30 to go. It's 90-36, NYU leading. Bass was a little high, but Clark was able to get it. DuBois blocked. And here comes Daniel. Daniel driving. Daniel lays it up and could not get the friendly roll, but Daniel got it right back.
Nice hustle.
And Daniel for three, and it's good.
All right.
Daniel from downtown with a good finish. And the Bulldogs trail 90-39. Could they crack 50? Is it possible? 4 minutes to go. Violet bench is starting to get busy. The bucket is good from DuBois. 92-39, 3:48 to go. And again, the quick, methodical attack. Good handoff to but a travel was called on Diaz. It was a good handoff by McMullen, but was walking with the ball at the time of the handoff.
She got the handoff, and she took the step two before she put the ball down. Easy travel call by the official.
If only that were football, I would have been a clean handoff to your running back right there.
Take it to the house.
3:48 to go. And McNair dribbles it in. Now gets it out to Olive Batch. She comes into the game. McNair losing it, but got it back. McNair to Batch for three. Little too strong off the rim, but it's rebounded by Clark. And now back to McNair. McNair, long three, and a score put home by Kelsey Du Bois. And that's an incredible shot from a 6'1 center to knock down a three like that. And the Bulldogs call time. It's 95-39, 3:13 to go, and the Violets 5 away from 100. They have passed their points per game total. And you just see, Pat, how we just talked about it. The well-rounded team this Violets team has, you see why they're a nightmare for almost every team to play against.
Because it doesn't matter who's on the court, you're going to get precision, you're going to get aggressiveness, you're going to get pressure, and it doesn't matter what you do, they're going to dictate the pace. They're going to tell you what you're going to do, and they're going to show you what they're going to do.
Absolutely. Fans, a reminder, you are watching Brooklyn College Women's Bulldogs basketball on YouTube.com, your home for everything Brooklyn. Fans, a reminder, our next broadcast will be December 13th. It's the final game of the year before the Christmas New Year's break. The Women's Bulldogs will take on SUNY Poly Tech here at the West Quad. Game will be at 6 p.m. here from the West Quad Gymnasium. Me and Pat Brown will have live coverage of that game. Me and Sean Markusic will have coverage of that game. My apologies. The men right now, as we speak, are facing off against the Stevens Institute of Technology Ducks. And we will give you a score of that game momentarily. But right now, back to the action here as Diaz and McNair on her there. Good move around McNair. That was not an easy move to make, but Daniel tried to get Aaliyah and just overthrew it out of bounds. And it'll be Violet ball, 3:01 to go here in the fourth quarter. Diaz met by McNair, almost stole it from her, but McNair was able to keep the possession. And we get a whistle, and a foul's called against Sandra Diaz. Got an arm in on McNair. That's the fourth team foul, so the Bulldogs still had a foul to give. And now it's going to be Du Bois to inbound. Du Bois swings it inside. Back to Batch. Bulldogs are trailing. We'll get to the score in a minute. Layup is put home by Yasmin Clark. Men's Bulldogs, by the way, are trailing Stevens 35-21 so far in the first half. Still a lot of game to be played, but like the fight, Bulldogs are hanging tough with the Ducks, so we'll see if the men's Bulldogs can make a little run in the second. We'll see. Bulldogs trailing 97-39. Violets looking for 100 points. They drive it into Clark. Count the basket and a foul. That puts the Violets at 99. And now a free throw coming for a chance at 100.
And that foul was on number 2, McMullen.
We're down to 2:13 to play. Bulldogs are going to go back to the bench. Gutierrez will enter, replacing Kitch. Also back into the game comes Josie Munson. She'll replace Kelsey Du Bois. 2:13 left. Free throw coming for the Violets. Shot is up. And there's 100 points for the NYU Violets. 2:13 to go. Bulldogs down by 61. Ankle biting move by Diaz. Crowd is ecstatic of that move by Sandra Diaz. Diaz gets it over to Daniel. Bulldogs. Daniel gets it back, but the Violet D continuing to hound. Rafat off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Clark. And now bringing it up, this is Chloe Teeter now into the game for the first time. And here's Serenity McNair. Gives it out to Munson. McNair. Teeter. Gets it over. Here's a jump shot and a score put home by Josie Munson.
They are just efficient.
102 points by the NYU Violets. Well, I don't know if they're going to crack the mark, Pat, that
they won't.
like they did against Cobleskill, but the Violets in this effort they come out with makes them tough for any opponent to play. Another turnover, McNair. And here comes McNair driving. Teeter lost it. Bulldogs were able to save it, but out of bounds.
Gutierrez. But good hustle by McMullen right there, not giving up on the play, forcing her to try and make an uncomfortable shot, and Gutierrez almost came away with the turnover.
Last few minutes of the Bulldogs have just been stumbling and bumbling with the ball in their hand, and the Violets just aren't letting up even an inch. Daniel almost stole that ball from Teeter. Jump shot off the backboard and in.
She called
Josie Munson. Bulldogs now trailing 104-39 with 44 seconds left. I have never seen a team score 100 points in my 14 years, Pat. Maybe once, I can't remember. Off the backboard, too strong. I'll try to remember that game, but 29 seconds left.
Actually, you saw Brooklyn College score 100 points against Mega Evans.
Yeah, that was the game. 100 there, yeah.
Yes.
When an opponent do it is a different matter. Shot is off the rim, no good. But a foul is called as Daniel will go to the basket for free throws with 20 and a half seconds left.
Yep.
So the NYU Violets will stay undefeated. They will go to 8-0.
39 straight wins.
And I'll simply say to their next opponent, whomever it may be, good luck.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing.
You know what? I'll just say that to the remaining 17 teams. Good luck. First free throw is no good from Daniel.
You got to say it like the bad guy in Taken. Good luck.
Good luck. All right. Free throw number 2 is good. Well, the Bulldogs have cracked 40 points, and the Bulldogs will get back defensively, and, well,
I don't think they're going to take another
NYU
shot.
Doesn't need to take another shot. Well, McNair
dribble.
is still moving, but nah.
Yeah.
That's how this game will end.
Yep.
So the Bulldogs came away, scored only 7 points to close out this game, and the NYU Violets win 104-40, knocking off the Bulldogs here at the Quad. It was a rough game from the beginning if you were Brooklyn. NYU got off to a
12-0 start.
12-0 start, yeah. And remember the Violets had that 34-5 first quarter. They went on to score the Bulldogs again 25-13 in the second, then 17-10 in the third. And then 28-7
in the fourth.
In the fourth.
By the third string, who played just like the first string. So
we'll get the stats for the final half, for the final quarter. We'll get them momentarily.
So, takeaways from me for Brooklyn College. Hey, you went against the most formidable team you're going to face all season.
Definitely.
You're not going to see a team like this in Cuniac.
No.
So you take lessons from this game. You see how you have to communicate on offense and defense, how you got to get back on transition. Listen, this is the epitome of who you want to be as a basketball team, and you just played against it. So now you take these lessons, take it into practice. Coach Cameron's going to harp on it, and now you get back to the next game against Poly. You got to come out and execute back on your home floor.
That's all you can say. So for the Bulldogs, well, they have a couple days to put this game behind, turn the page. Next game will be SUNY Poly. Luckily, it's not the last game of the season yet, of the first half of the year.
Right.
So the Bulldogs just have to go back to the drawing board a bit. Obviously, this was an opponent that they've done this to every opponent.
Yep.
It's not just Brooklyn they've done this to. They've done this to every team they've played. So as soon as we get a moment, the stats will be right here with us. And for the Bulldogs, again, they fell behind early. It was just a rough day. It was just a rough day. They're just not able to attack the paint. NYU, when they play defense like this against opponents, it doesn't really surprise me. You see why they're number one ranked, and you see why they play why teams have a hard time with this team the way they do.
It's like trying to solve their defense, like trying to solve the Rubik's Cube when it first came out. Everybody was fumbling, bumbling, trying to get the combination. It's hard to find a combination to beat this NYU defense. And offensively, efficiency, shooting over 60% from the field. It's awesome to see how Coach Barber has taken his team, and they're going to be hard-pressed to be beat. I can see them repeating as the NCAA Double-3 champ.
I wouldn't even be surprised. I was just about to bring that up. I mean, let's go back a minute to when this run really began. It all began after that loss to Transylvania. And, Coach Barrett even said from the beginning, she felt like, we talked to her earlier, said she felt like this team had something special in it from the start of the season. So this wasn't something that maybe built over time. Obviously, this team really had a long time to think about the NCAA tournament and how close they came. So they wanted to keep the chemistry they have, but change some things up, train even harder and tougher. And you see the difference in why this Violet team has gotten off to this stretch the way they have and why they're on this streak that they're on right now.
Think about the game, because I know both me and you watched the championship game against Smith. Just think about how mentally tough you had to be in that environment, in the most important game of your life. And then in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, they did what they needed to do to pull out that win against a very tough and formidable Smith team.
Absolutely. I mean, these are opponents both, by the way, the Bulldogs faced that year in the same time. So that was kind of almost a bit of a preview, I guess, if you will.
I guess.
But Smith was one of those teams that really, they were the team that held NYU to the fewest points all year.
Yep. And here we go, final stats.
And still, it was not quite enough. But anyways, the proof is in the pudding. And here we are, the final stats for the game. The Bulldogs shot a grand total of 23% for the game, 15 of 64 from the field. So the Violets took the same number of almost the same number of shots the Bulldogs did, and they knocked down 43 of 68.
Yep,
so 63%.
Yep.
And 11 of 21 from downtown. Both sides didn't get to the free throw line a ton, but NYU out-rebounded the Bulldogs 51-23.
That's the bucket right there. 51 rebounds, and in the paint, 58-8.
The bench outscored the Bulldogs 51-11.
Yep, 51-11. And look, top scorers, you had 4 players in double digits, led by Caroline Pepper with 13.
Behar had 13. Bruns had 10.
Yasmin Clark had 12.
Off the bench had 12 in the 10.5 minutes.
Anna Kitch led Brooklyn with 11, along with Alina Estrella with 11. And then there was nobody close to double digits after that.
Only amazing thing is NYU had 21 turnovers.
Yes.
Which, shocking to me, but
Brooklyn, out of those turnovers, Brooklyn only scored 12 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's just tough. When you play a team like NYU, as I said, you have to play utterly perfect. Anything short of perfect against this team,
not good enough.
It's basically, we'll see. It's basically we'll see it tomorrow.
I'll say this to sum up NYU. Any opponent that plays against NYU, if you do not bring forth, match their intensity, you might as well just pack it in, because they're not going to relent. They're not going to stop.
No. I'll be very curious, and I wonder if it lines up in the NCAA tournament, because we talked about how, a little earlier I talked about the Newport captains and how they play the same type of choking, suffocating D that they did at NYU. That's exactly what they did to Brooklyn also. What would happen if when NYU and Newport face off against one another? More than likely it'll be in the NCAA tournament.
I was going to say,
should we get to that point?
Listen, they've played the tough team. They played tough. They played Smith. They played.
Bates. They played Bates. They played
Transylvania. So
and they've proven they can hang with every one of them.
So they're the national champs. They're saying, bring it to me, because we're ready for you.
Well, so right now your final score. The Violets defeat the Bulldogs 104-40. You will tune in for our next broadcast on Friday, the 13th of December. The Bulldogs will take on the SUNY Poly Wildcats here from the West Quad Gymnasium. That game will be at 6 p.m. For Pat Brown, for Sean Markusik, for Shazib, for Matt, Mike, and our entire team, this is Jonathan Pariente saying so long from the West Quad Gymnasium here at Brooklyn College. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.